Meet Stan Minton, a slick real estate agent living the high life in Los Angeles. He's filthy rich, married to the gorgeous Mindy, and everything seems perfect on the surface. But behind the scenes, Stan's been scamming his clients, stealing small amounts over time that add up big. One day, the law catches up with him. Stan gets arrested and is charged with first-degree fraud. The verdict? Guilty, and he's looking at least 3 years behind bars. Desperate to avoid prison, Stan begs his lawyer to bribe the judge. They try, but the best they get is a 6-month delay before Stan has to report to prison. To make it look legit, they even fake a charity event. Still, the sentence stands. After the trial, the lawyer tells Stan to run, head to Brazil, and never come back. But with his assets frozen, Stan can't leave the country. He's stuck, waiting for his time to start, drowning in fear and regret. During a date night, Mindy suggests they have a baby so she won't be alone while Stan's away. But Stan shuts the idea down, worried they might lose the child if anything happens to him. The tension explodes, and Mindy storms off, leaving Stan feeling lost and guilty. Later, a broken Stan wanders into a bar where he spots a man with prison tattoos. He offers the guy $5,000 for survival tips. The man lays it out brutal. Prison guards don't care about violence or deaths, only that no one escapes. And Stan, he's a target, especially sexually. Terrified but now aware, Stan gets chilling advice. Join a prison gang to survive, or better yet, kill someone early on to scare off predators. That's a harsh reality check. The next morning, hungover, Stan knows this nightmare isn't going away. Mindy reminds him he's going to prison, but also cheers him on, saying he always finds a way out of tough spots. Determined, Stan commits to changing himself, turning into an alpha male before he hits the big house. Over 6 intense months, Stan grinds through workouts and even tattoos his backside to deter predators. He signs up for karate classes, aiming to learn self-defense, but his impatience lands him in a fight with another student. After causing a big scene at the dojo, Stan gets kicked out, hitting rock bottom. That's when he meets a mysterious, eccentric old guy known only as the Master. This guy instantly impresses Stan by casually punching a hole through a wall like it's nothing. Seeing a glimmer of hope, Stan invites the Master to move in with him and Mindy, hoping he can train him in self-defense. Mind you, Mindy is not thrilled about this stranger invading their space, but the Master wastes no time starting his unorthodox training regimen. On day 1, he wakes Stan up at the crack of dawn by pouring animal liver blood all over his face. Yeah, it gets weirder. He even insists Mindy whip up a breakfast smoothie made from ox pancreas and horse tongues. Yikes! The training only escalates from there. The Master hits Stan with flaming sticks, suspends him by his skin, and forces him to eat scorpions and snakes. Mindy's patience wears thin, especially with the Master's constant smoking and bizarre demands. Eventually, she gives Stan an ultimatum. Either the Master moves out, or she walks. One night, trying to help Mindy understand the terror he faces, Stan stages a fake robbery. But when Mindy realizes it's all a setup, she flies into a rage, packs her bags, and leaves him. Surprisingly, the Master is thrilled she's gone. Without distractions, he believes Stan's training can get even tougher. For the next 5 months, Stan endures brutal training sessions. Slowly but surely, he starts holding his own in combat, impressing the Master. As the ultimate test, Stan returns to the very dojo that kicked him out, and this time, he easily defeats his old instructor, proving he's ready. With training complete, Stan feels unstoppable and prepared to face prison head-on. On sentencing day, the Master and Stan's lawyer drop him off at court. Mindy, though distant, secretly watches from her car as Stan walks into the courthouse. Once sentenced, Stan's taken to prison by bus. During the ride, an inmate tries to make a move on him, but Stan fights back, showing off the strength he's gained. At the prison, the inmates are introduced to Warden Gask. Calm but firm, the warden warns them not to mess with the guards. But beyond that, it's a free-for-all among the prisoners themselves. Stan quickly gets a harsh welcome during the humiliating cavity check. When it's his turn, the guards are shocked by his modified backside. He purposely made it look awful to keep predators at bay. Assigned to his cell, Stan meets his new roommate, Larry. Stan wastes no time asserting dominance, ordering Larry to take the lower bunk. Larry then breaks down the prison's social scene. There's the Black Gang, a crew of Mexican thugs, a Nazi group, a racist clique, and even a bunch of scientists who intimidate others with non-stop intellectual babble. But the biggest warning? Larry tells Stan about Big Raymond, the most dangerous sexual predator on the block. And it's not long before Stan sees Big Raymond terrorizing a new inmate firsthand. Alright guys, things are heating up. Stan's determined to make a statement, so he boldly confronts Big Raymond, the prison's most feared predator, right in front of everyone. Using the self-defense moves he learned from the master, Stan easily takes Raymond down. This victory catches the attention of Patterson, the leader of the Nazi group, who surprisingly invites Stan to join them. But instead of joining, Stan shocks everyone by beating Patterson up too. Not long after, the African-American gang approaches Stan, furious that he fought Big Raymond. Trying to lighten the mood, Stan jokes that he's black too, but the group doesn't find it funny. Their leader orders an attack and another fight breaks out. Stan handles them all effortlessly while the guards watch, clearly entertained but refusing to step in. After these fights, Stan's reputation explodes. The inmates start calling him Big Stan, and wherever he walks, they move out of his way. Robbie, a younger inmate Stan saved earlier from Big Raymond, approaches him to say thanks, but Stan brushes him off, claiming he only fought for himself. Later, Warden Gask calls Stan to his office. He reveals Stan's placement in this prison wasn't random. Gask plans to take over the prison land to build a luxury estate, and he needs Stan's realtor expertise to spot flaws in the documents. In exchange, Gask promises to release Stan after just 1 year. Stan is intrigued and agrees to help, but the warden won't say exactly how he plans to clear the prison of inmates. Meanwhile, all the inmate groups unite against Stan to teach him a lesson. One day, while Stan is showering, Patterson attacks him with a makeshift knife, crafted from a melted toothbrush and razor blade. But Stan's ready. He pulls out nunchaku he made from soap bars and a shoelace and quickly defeats Patterson, leaving him injured and sent to the hospital. Missing his wife, Stan calls his lawyer to ask if Mindy has sent divorce papers. To his relief, she hasn't. Feeling a renewed sense of hope, Stan throws himself into working on the warden's project. During this time, he meets D, a former Vietnamese mafia member turned politician who's Gask's partner in a scheme to sabotage the prison. Stan overhears Gask and D discussing their plan. They want to provoke inmate violence, so guards shoot prisoners, giving the prison board a reason to shut down the facility. Then Gask can take over the land for his own project. Shocked by the severity of their plan, Stan feels responsible for protecting the inmates, even though many of them resent him. Determined to act, Stan calls a meeting with the inmates and sets new rules and boundaries. First, he bans all violent video games and movies, calling them harmful influences. Then he declares sexual assault is strictly forbidden, warning anyone guilty will answer directly to him. The inmates push back at first, but Stan encourages them to explore consensual relationships instead. Although the idea feels strange to them, they grudgingly agree. During lunch, Robbie and some inmates thank Stan for the no assault rule. Stan brushes off their gratitude, saying it's just about maintaining control, but Robbie sees through the tough exterior. He knows Stan genuinely cares about the inmates' well-being. Even Big Raymond, once the block's most dangerous predator, starts a consensual relationship with his new boyfriend, guided by Stan. This couple soon becomes part of Stan's growing circle of allies. Shortly after, Stan receives a letter from Mindy. She responds to his apology and expresses willingness to visit, giving Stan hope for reconciliation. Over the next few days, the prison starts to change. Conflicts resolve peacefully, and inmates often seek Stan's advice. Slowly but surely, the prison atmosphere shifts into unexpected harmony. One day, Mindy visits Stan in prison, and they share a heartfelt moment. But their time is cut short when Warden Jordan Gask storms into Stan's cell, furious about Stan's influence over the inmates. Gask accuses Stan of sabotaging their plan to destabilize the prison, and issues a chilling threat. If Stan doesn't follow orders, Dang will kill him. The next day, Stan talks to his lawyer, who advises him to cooperate with Gask, explaining the warden holds serious power. Feeling defeated, Stan announces to the inmates their problems are no longer his concern, and tells them to return to their old ways. The harmony Stan built quickly unravels as fights break out everywhere, undoing all his progress. Robbie approaches Stan in the cafeteria, hoping to talk some sense into him. Instead, Stan rudely throws Robbie's plate and tells him to leave. Even Larry, Stan's cellmate, is visibly disappointed by his behavior. When Larry tries to back off, Stan stops him cold and warns him to stay away from the metal fence. Clearly, trouble's brewing. By noon, Larry realizes Stan's in serious danger and quickly alerts the other inmates. Together, they start planning a way to handle the situation. Meanwhile, Warden Gask sets up a parole board meeting to discuss Stan's early release. But this is all part of Gask's bigger, more sinister plan. While Stan is tied up with the board, Gask takes the prison's board of governors on a tour. His goal? To spark a violent riot near the fence exactly at noon, forcing the guards to open fire. This chaos will give the board a reason to shut down the prison, like clearing the way for Gas to snatch the land for his own gain. During the meeting, Stan plays the part of the worst inmate possible, making sure he gets kicked out fast. This gives him the chance to race back and warn everyone, don't go near the fence. But on his way to the yard, Stan runs into Dee, who, shockingly, has also been trained by the Master. The two clash in an intense fight. Dee starts off dominating, but Stan digs deep and turns the tables, knocking Dee out cold before heading to face the inmates. When Stan gets to the yard, the inmates are already gathered near the fence, ready for a fight. The guards prepare to shoot, but suddenly, the inmates break into a perfectly choreographed dance to a lively Mexican tune. This unexpected move stuns everyone. Gask is furious and loses control, firing his gun wildly into the air. The Board of Governors are alarmed and immediately decide to take action against the unhinged warden. Just when Gask tries to retaliate against Stan, Mindy steps in. And surprise! She's been training with the Master for 6 months and is a combat pro herself. Thanks to her, Stan is safe. Cut to 3 years later, Stan's done with his sentence and ready to go home. His fellow inmates gather to say goodbye, and even Patterson, his old rival, shows respect by revealing a tattoo of Stan's face on his belly, a tribute to the man who changed everything inside those prison walls. Outside the prison, Mindy and the Master wait to pick him up, and here's the heartwarming moment. Mindy introduces Stan to their 3-year-old daughter, marking a hopeful new chapter for their family.